Hello, everybody. This is John Marola from Keeping It Real Section 5 Football, and this is our second week up at Premier Sports. Just really excited to be here. We're going to talk about week number one games and then the upcoming games in week number two. But first, I have to introduce my partner, Section 5 Hall of Famer, Paul Burgandy. Paul?
Well, thank you, John. And yes, it was an exciting week one, the kickoff to the 2024 high school football season in Section 5. And we had the opportunity to work the Irondequoit Eastridge opening game, the rivalry, town rivalry, which actually Irondequoit, they were in control of the game by halftime. I believe it was 43-0 at halftime,
Yes,
and finished that way.
Yep.
So we saw a lot of, Irondequoit definitely came very well prepared. They looked strong on all three phases. Did not have the penalties, and they looked like they were in midseason form.
Yeah, Irondequoit came out on all cylinders. I mean, like you said, they looked like this was their week 4 or 5 game. And just with the players and the coaching, I mean, they looked very impressive first week.
Yeah, when you score on the second play of the game, a 71-yard run, you came ready to play.
Yes.
And that was, there was a lot of marquee games in week one. We were talking about at that Irondequoit Eastridge, we had a lot of weather conditions. It poured before the game. It cleared up as game time and then poured again after the game.
Yes.
But some of the games in the area had the thunder and lightning stoppages that had to be played again on Saturdays and Saturday afternoon. So, the weather was definitely, did contribute to some of those games.
I think Fairport was one of them.
Yeah, Fairport had to replay theirs, or continue on from where, and they, Fairport had a victory over Webster Schrader in week one. We had a lot of teams from Section 5 that played other sections throughout the state.
Yes.
And there was 2 games up in the Carrier Dome. Victor played Cicero North out of Syracuse,
Yes.
and Victor was defeated.
Mm-hmm.
And then Canandaigua played West Genesee up in the Carrier Dome, and Canandaigua was victorious.
Yes.
Up there. I know. We had, and I think it was a game that you went to, John. They had some real elite teams in the state came to Rochester. St. Anthony's played at UPrep, and I believe the game was at U of R, and you were there.
Yes, I was there. I was very impressed with St. Anthony's. They dressed 75 kids on their varsity. Nobody goes both ways. Actually, I was watching the defensive line, and halfway through the first quarter, they were subbing kids in with their kids that are only going one way. They're subbing. It's like college football. It's college football. That's the way they have it. They just want to wear you down. I was very impressed with their quarterback from St. Anthony's. And then I was up there with a friend of mine, Sam Casarino, who you know, and we were looking through some stuff on our phones, and we found out that the quarterback from St. Anthony's is the number 2 rated lacrosse player in the United States right
now.
In
Wow.
high school lacrosse.
He's some athlete.
Yes.
He's some athlete.
This kid was tough as nails. He wasn't real. It was probably 5'10", 100, if he was 170. But he was tough as nails, and it was fun watching. It was just like watching a team like that, from another section come in. And I was, very impressed with the way that our guys in Section 5 went out. Like we said, they went outside the box.
Well, and there was 2 other games too with Rochester City Schools. Monroe played Clarence, who was a sectional champion, and Monroe was victorious in that ball game. And Christian Brothers Academy of Syracuse, the defending state champs, came and they defeated East High.
Yes,
at East High. So, I mean, we in Section 5. It was nice to see that we were playing other sections in the state and seeing how we match up.
Yes, and the thing with the East game, I know with CBA being the defending state champs AA from last year, I know that they have 5, on this year's team, they have 5 D1 kids. 2 of the 5 are going to Syracuse, and I know the DN I know is going to Virginia Tech. So, I mean, you're just playing competition, and for people out there that if you want to see what a 4-star kid looks like or a 5-star, those are it. I mean, those are what they look like.
And another team from this area, Aquinas played Bishop Timon,
Yes.
and defeated Bishop Timon over the weekend. So they're off to a good start, and that was another Section 5 team that had played a team out of section.
Mm-hmm. On a little downer note, the first game ever with Kelmum Leroy, they were defeated at Batavia, and I know a lot of people out Kelmum way, and it's going to take them a little bit to get used to each other. The kids are still kind of feeling themselves out.
Yeah, that Kel Mum Leroy was like the Hatfields and McCoys, and now you're combining them.
Yes, yes.
So that will take some time to make an adjustment, but best of luck to them.
Yeah, I give them credit for the way football is up here these days. It's either you have to combine, or you might be playing 8-man football.
Well, right,
So,
and you're seeing, you're right, John. There's a lot more 8-man teams now. We're seeing a lot more combined teams. We're seeing a lot more teams deciding to go independent, and so there are some big changes.
yes, I was looking through some stuff. I forget what Wayland, Cohocton. They're like 3 different schools combined with one. I mean, it's almost like the city now. The city with like Edison. Edison's got every high school.
Right. With that, I believe Wilson defeated Edison over
Yes.
the weekend as far as city schools that also played. There was another rivalry. Actually, the first kickoff game was Thursday night,
Yes.
where Greece Athena defeated Greece Arcadia. It came down to a 2-point conversion, and Athena held. They made the stop. I know it was a 14-13 victory for Greece Athena.
Yes, yes. Now, what we'd like to talk about a little bit is we're going to talk about the games coming up this week number 2, Section 5 games, and the games that I'd like to go to. I want to go up Friday night and watch UPrep at Aquinas.
Oh yeah, that should be a very elite matchup. 2 very good football teams, and with UPrep being defeated, I'm sure they'll try to come ready to play.
And the good part about that is the kickoff at Aquinas is at 5:30.
Oh, it's an early start.
So I might jump and see another game after that, depending on, high school football. Back when we were coaching, even they were 2-hour games, maybe 2-hour, 20-minute games. Now with everybody throwing the rock all over the place, I mean, there's 3 hours games.
You're right, and you know what I forgot? Speaking of games this week, but I want to backtrack again on our topic of Section 5 teams playing out of the area. McQuaid wins an overtime football game against Lancaster over the weekend, and now McQuaid will be playing a Rush Henrietta team that looked very, very impressive with their victory over Pittsford.
Mm-hmm.
So those are 2 1-0 teams, and I believe that game is going to be played at Rush Henrietta, and I believe that they are naming the stadium over the Section 5 Hall of Fame coach, Werner Kleeman. I think it'll be called Werner Kleeman Field.
Yes.
They now have artificial turf and lights there at Henrietta.
I used to love going over there and playing. Their grass field was just absolutely, I mean, it was like a college professional field.
Oh, it was absolutely gorgeous, and I think it had been in some magazines as some of the top grass high school fields in the country.
Yes, they did one great job.
Yeah, that would be another interesting game to if you have the opportunity to attend this weekend to see.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's some other matchups that come to mind. Talked about McQuaid, Aquinas. I believe East High travels to Greece Arcadia.
Yes.
Athena and Brockport play. Both of them have won week 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a matchup.
Irondequoit.
Irondequoit moves out. I believe they're playing Webster Thomas this week. So we'll see if they can keep that momentum going there. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other teams. Fairport plays Penfield. Fairport won week one.
Mm-hmm.
So they will meet.
I think Penfield won too week one.
Hilton, who had won week
Yes.
one, I believe they played Pittsburgh this
Yep.
week. So there's a lot of great matchups. You get an opportunity to get to one of those games, enjoy high school football in this area.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I'd like to talk about real quick is we have a week one player of the week, and this right here is a redo. So Cam Freeman from Irondequoit is our week one winner for player of the week, but we had to redo this. Um, First time, and this is our 26th episode, and it's the first time that I ran across this. It's there was a glitch or just something with my computer stuff, and
And then, we really apologize to Cam, his family. We enjoyed the interview with him. Outstanding young man.
yeah,
Is here, and we hope to get him in the future on one of our upcoming podcasts. But his performance that night, he's the one. We said second play of the game, someone runs for a 71-yard run.
Yes.
That was Cam,
Yep.
and he started the whole trend. I think he had close to 130 yards rushing in the game. He had an interception on the defensive side, and probably averaged over 12 yards a carry.
8 carries for 123 and a
Okay, that
touchdown.
what
He
it
had
was.
an interception,
Yeah.
and he had 8 tackles on defense.
So outstanding performance, and he was our week one keeping it real Section 5 football player of the week. We remind and recommend too that coaches, if you have a player that you would like to nominate, make sure you do nominate them. The player's got to be nominated for them to be selected.
Yes, and it's got to be from a coach. It can't be from a parent or somebody on the booster club or something like that. So make sure. And the other thing too is coaches. If you're playing, say, Friday night game, you can send yours in on Saturday. You just email them in, and we can start looking to see what we have coming in.
And the award winners, we bring them in here to Premier Sports. Obviously, we have an opportunity to talk with them, recap the game and some of the highlights that they provided throughout the game. And again, one of our sponsors, Joe Muno, who is the owner of Premier Sports, usually has a nice presentation for the young man that won the award.
Yes, yes. After this, now I'd just like to talk a little bit about. I have a good friend who I coached with. Paul was his coach in college, and he just passed away this past week. His name is Dave Neiman. First of all, let me go back and talk about when I met Dave. I met Dave between his sophomore and junior year in high school. My friend up the street, Danny DeVos, introduced me to him. There was a little group of guys. It was Dave Allen, Bill Guzik, Jeff Stengel. Those were the Athena guys. And then the Olympia guys was Danny DeVos and I can't even think of who it was right now. But anyways, we just kind of hung out and became friends. And when I was coaching at Greece Olympia, George Giordano was our head coach, and we were looking for a JV coach. And I said to George, I go, well, I know Dave Neiman. What about Dave Neiman? And George remembered Dave from his playing days at Athena and then playing at Brockport State. And so, long story short, on that, we had Dave come over. And he coached JVs his first couple of years at Olympia with Jack Foote, longtime friend, too, of ours. And Dave called the offense, Jack called the defense. And the one little story I have about that was first game Dave's ever coaching. We're playing at East Rochester, our JVs. Get the kickoff coming down the field, and we're just running the ball 5 yards, 7 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards. First to go on the 8-yard line, first down, he throws the ball. And I'm looking down. I'm like, are you kidding me? So now it's 2nd and 8, 2nd and goal from the 8. Second play, throws it again. The corner almost comes up and picks it. I go back down to him, and now you got to imagine this is back in the day a little bit. I go, listen, you're not playing Nintendo or PlayStation. Just keep the ball on the ground, score a touchdown. Let's go. All right. So we score a couple plays later, and I get up and I leave. So the game ends, and Olympia won. So he calls me up. He's like, "Where were you? I was looking for you. Where were you?" I go, "I told you what I had to tell you," and I went home. I was done. I was done. So you had him at Brockport.
We had him at Brockport State, and again, for the listeners out there, Dave Neiman was he played high school in Greece Athena in this area. He was a Red Rochester football player. He attended Brockport State. He was a defensive back, and if you look on the Brockport State all-time interceptions leaders, Dave Neiman is at the top with most interceptions. Great football player there at Brockport State. Now, from there, he later coached, like with Johnny, at Greece Olympia. He later became the Aquinas head football coach, and would they win, John? Two state
back to back,
won back-to-back state championships at Aquinas. From Aquinas, he traveled to Canandaigua and became the head football coach there, and I think they were sectional champs a couple times
yes.
under Dave's leadership. So he had a lot of different hats. He touched a lot of different people, whether it was as a player, a teammate, a coach. He was a physical education teacher in Canandaigua and reached a lot of people. We had the opportunity, John and myself, we went to the celebration of life. They chose a big venue out in Canandaigua. We were at the Finger Lakes Community College, and very impressive, but just long lines of people paying their respects to Dave's wife, Carrie Jo, Dave's son, Dave's daughter. It basically was a who's who of Section 5, many coaches, former players, teammates at the high school level and college level were all there in support of them. And one of the things that a couple of them that really stood out, there that day was I looked out the window and I see a big team bus from Siena University. Dave's daughter plays lacrosse there right now. He's
Kohler.
Kohler. He has two of the kids are in college, and that whole women's lacrosse team came to that celebration of Dave's life, and and that's what Dave was all about. You talk about family and unity, and being there for each other. We were so impressed with that. I saw former teammates of his, and one was a former Section 5 head coach who played with Dave at Brockport State. Jason Benham had a white wristband. It had number 23 on it, Dave's number, and I think some other guys wore those wristbands.
Dave Allen, Danny DeVos.
His buddies. Yep. So, that was one thing about Dave Neiman. He knew how to dress the part. He had every sweatband, towel, eye black, gloves. He looked good when he was out there, but he was just a great person. And I know that Johnny, you were so very, very close with Dave, and it's very emotional when you lose just a great friend, and you knew what he was all about, and you see his family that but his legacy will go on. I did watch parts of the Canandaigua West Genesee game, and even the announcers were saying that the Canandaigua team, were playing this game with some heavy hearts, and they definitely, the Canandaigua community was. Yes. But you probably elaborate a little bit more about just Dave Neiman, the person, and some of the more stories that I think our listeners will enjoy.
Dave gave me. I'm going to go through it again. Just being around him in the time with him, I still talk to my old football coach, Bob Dietor, who I was fortunate enough to coach with when I was at Aquinas. Dave put the three words Thanks. He put these words in. We see the players. We see them up there last week. Whenever we leave each other, we always say, "I love you." And I never heard of people talking like that, you know. But that's just how we go. That's how we were. That's how we are. People talk about family on teams. A lot of it I see is just words. But I'm telling you, we were a family. We are a family. And I just want to thank Dave for giving me some of the best years of my life. Um, you know, of course, winning games is fun. Everybody who doesn't like to win, but just being around the atmosphere, being around the kids. I've seen a lot of them up at the celebration, and we were doing what we did now. We were laughing a little bit and crying a little bit, and that's what true family is.
Well, as we know, he was so full of energy wherever he came into a room, and he got it going.
Yes.
And that's what remember about him is how he lived his life, and I want to make sure you listeners today stay with this podcast because John together a beautiful montage of pictures that I think John had, Carrie Joe, Dave's wife, sent, and we want to make sure that we give him a nice send off. He's probably coaching in heaven somewhere or helping somebody else out right now on one of the teams. But it was a beautiful montage that you put together, John, and I think when you watch it, anybody out there watches it, you will agree.
Mm-hmm.
And just so many great fond memories of Dave over the years.
Yeah, and just a couple little stories, and then we'll let it go. Is when we played games, like I said, we were all together. After the game, I see now, I've seen before. The game's over. The kids get with their families and they leave. The coaches get in their cars and they go home. When we were in Aquinas, we went up to Casey's, and we all sat around and hung out, watched football, and we ate a lot of food. And that was our time, and it was very special, very very special. The one story I have tons, but the one is actually I just talked to Bob Dietor the other night about it, and we still chuckle. We played Newark up at the Dome, 2021. First game of the year was like a kickoff classic, and I've been to the Dome 100 times. I've never coached at the Dome. So here we are in the locker rooms before the game, getting together. The kids go out of the field, and me and Mark Magliocco are upstairs in the booth, and I tell Mark I have to go to the bathroom. I'll meet you up there. He's like, okay. So I come out, and I'm in the back of the Dome, and I'm trying to find out where to go because it's pretty big. So, I'm opening doors up, and there's a closet, there's a janitor's closet. I open this one door, and if you've ever been to the Dome, it kind of sucks you in. Well, this kind of sucked me out. I opened the door, and I got sucked out, and the door slammed behind me. And here I am standing outside the Carrier Dome with my headset on, my pass and everything, and I'm like, are you kidding me or what? So I go over to a guy and I said, listen, you got to get me back in. He goes, oh, are you coaching? I said, yeah. So long story again, now at the Dome, there's no elevator up to the booth. So you got to go up there. So I'm chugging up there. I'm chugging. And Bob Dietor, our defensive coordinator, is on the headset, and he's like, I'm huffing and puffing. I'm going up the stairs. I'm trying, and I look over at the clock, and there's like 5 minutes left in the first quarter. I've already missed about 6 or 7 minutes of the game, and I'm huffing and puffing, and Dietz is like, Johnny, what are you doing? Are you okay? And Dietz goes, Dave, I think Chang's having a heart attack. And Dave gets on, and Dave's name, we all had nicknames. Dave called me Q. And he's like, Q, you're killing me. You're killing me. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get up there. I was laying on the steps going up to the booth, and I could see them on the other side of the field. And the game's going on. The game's, the game's it's not like it's a timeout or anything. And we just laughed and laughed. And those are all great stories. And like I said, I'll never forget those days. He brought that to Aquinas. He brought that to Olympia. He brought that to Canada.
He had that energy.
Yes. And people that knew him as a person, as the name, oh, yeah, I know Dave. I know Dave. Yeah, I know the name. They don't know. People that know Dave Neiman, they know what he's really about. And like we've said, Dave was about everybody. He never wanted to single anybody out. When the news came up, I remember we were practicing in the dome for sectionals, and the TV cameras came in, and he was telling Bob Diator to go over. And Dietz is telling, no, you're the head coach. You got to go over and tell. They want. And he's like, I don't want it to be. That's just how Dave is. And he'll take off the shirt on his back for you. And again, I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done for me as a person and as a coach and as your friend.
Well said, Johnny. And again, rest in peace, Dave.
Yes. Love you forever, Brooke.
Love you, Dave.
You good?
I'm good.
I think I'm good too. We're going to say 1, 2, 3.
Keeping it real, Section 5 football.
Good night. Have a great night.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.